Vegeta turning Super Saiyan wouldn't be considered good if it came out today. You telling me this grown-ass man whined and cried enough because he couldn't do what Goku could do, and also retcon the fact that you need to have a pure heart to transform? We're back with our hot takes. It's been a long time. Y'all been getting pieced up and pieced up and pieced up. But we gotta always remember that we came from the 4-star community. We've came from our Shenron, Kamea players, and things of that nature. So it's time. We gotta be reaching max levels of transformations. How many colors these guys gonna pull out? I don't think transformations will ever stop. It's just a matter of if certain ones get rehashed or improved on. I don't think it's ever going to be a situation where Dragon Ball won't have a new transformation. You know what I mean? But I can understand how they can sometimes feel a bit much, for sure. I mean, hell, as someone mentioned in chat, on all intents and purposes, Super Saiyan 4 exists now, nigga. And they got a new design. So it is what it is. It's always a good thing that people point out that Dragon Ball got carried away with it, but now I'm at the point where it doesn't bother me because it's kind of like a huge story thing, a huge story visual for a character's almost development, damn near. So I don't have a problem with more transformations. Just make sure all of them have purpose. Daima made me realize that Dragon Ball should do more slice of life adventure stories like Pilaf Saga, because as much as I love the action aspect of Dragon Ball, I love the adventure aspect of the franchise more. Yeah, I did like the world's pettiest Dragon Ball list, or I mean the consensus Dragon Ball list earlier this stream. I don't know when the top 20 list that I did that's just like memeing and trolling to get like the consensus Dragon Ball opinion dropped. But long story less long, yeah, I'm with you, man. I value not only the adventure, I value like comedy too. So a lot of people, they want the characters or they want the story that has the transformation, the ooh, ah, hype beast punch moment. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Hell, there's some characters on my list that were ranked just because it's cool. Some arcs that I like just because they're cool. Shit like that. I'm all for making lemonade out of the lemons you're given. But sometimes, man, I think those lemons aren't just fights. I think those lemons are Roshi being funny, Bulma being quirky and funny, depending on what point in the series. There's just a lot of other stuff in Dragon Ball that if it were just strictly action, at that point, it's not just the rawest action anime out there. So I wouldn't like Dragon Ball nearly as much as I do if I only looked at it from the action aspect of it. Sometimes you need limeade for real, not for real. Oh, wow. Speaking of the same take, yeah, Dragon Ball is at its best when there's adventure. Daima reinforced that for me. Yeah, so like just to double down, yeah, I don't like Dragon Ball plots that are just bad guy pulls up, how you're going to beat him. No, if you're doing a level of world building, or if there's a lore and or consequence from a previous arc that explains why this new bad guy popped up, like with the Cell Saga, I'm fine with that. But when you just have a situation where hey, fuck it, gang. And this, I swear I don't hate Trunks, but it's just like he kind of embodies like a lot of things with Dragon Ball that I don't like sometimes. But it's not to say I hate the character, because the character's all right. But like with Trunks sagas though, or the Goku Black one, for example, as raw as the Goku Black saga started, it does just randomly come out of nowhere in the sense that it doesn't really have too many consequences outside of the God Tube thing with Zamasu. There's a reason why Goku Black exists, but it's not necessarily stitched together fluently enough for me, at least. It kind of just starts off, oh shit, remember that guy in the future? Yeah, I don't like when Dragon Ball does that, even if they end up working out the problems like I gave credit to. That's why I gave credit to it, by the way, because if someone argued that I just think that the Goku Black arc came out of nowhere, they would rightfully correct me. But yeah, even then, just I don't like when a story in an anime doesn't just kind of flow. I don't want my anime, and this is a major problem with Super, to feel like you can just reorder it, change the power levels and or the transformations, and it doesn't matter. I definitely like the adventure. I definitely like the comedy, and I definitely like when my stories all flow. No, I kind of got off topic there. Oh, well, this is someone that goes against the grain here. The more I think about it, the more I realize Daima was really underwhelming. While the animation was outstanding, Super Saiyan 4 came out of nowhere, and the antags were either generic or wasted potential. And you're telling me we're exploring the demon realm, yet Piccolo doesn't do anything. Piccolo's role in the demon realm definitely was like damn near nothing. I don't think anybody's gonna argue, disagree, cry, or debate you on that. What I will say is that they used like the Namex, Neva, I think is his name, as well as Piccolo to just like lore dump So it's in the sense, yeah, there ain't no boxing per se. There is it's no like Piccolo boxing the big bad necessarily. If you think that he should have been boxing just because he's in the demon realm, I don't think that's a necessity. However, when you're talking about Super Saiyan 4 coming out of nowhere, I mean that's just true. But that's just one of those things where unironically it is just a shrug shoulders cool thing. Don't get me wrong, easily explained, but yeah, it came out of nowhere. Antagonist being generic or wasted potential, I definitely don't think wasted potential applies to any of them, unfortunately. The closest one you have is the guy that was about a bit, is the Queso Glorio. The girl, I forgot her name. The closest one you have is the brother and sister of Nahade. Supreme Kai. That's the closest one you have, but even then, I wouldn't really argue they were too much wasted potential. It was a wasted storyline, but I wouldn't argue it's wasted potential from the antagonist per se. Maybe that's kind of like Mickey, because potential in storyline are congruent, but I don't think those characters were too fascinating anyway. It was just like, damn, they like the other character, like for example, the girl. Just to clarify that, because I know that won't make sense to some. I think the girl, I forgot her fucking name. She was good. She just ended up never being a real antagonist to Goku necessarily. Like she had intents on doing that, but then didn't do that. The one that planted doing coup. Arenza, yeah. Say shit. If there's a Tournament of Power 2, please do not do that. It would be cool if they had another antagonist that's strong as shit, but it'd be better if they made Jiren and Hit level up enough so that they're still a threat. Same with Toppo in the Universe 6 Saiyans. There were too many fodder in the first one. Yeah, if there's a second Tournament of Power, sure. Obviously, you do not have Jiren be the final boss. Jiren can't be the final boss. You do that, you ruin the fucking arc. Oh my God, don't give anybody a rerun, sorry. Furthermore, yeah, don't do the Tournament of Power Part 2. Don't think that's necessary. If anything, don't do it for an insanely long time. 3, I agree. The issue is fodder is always going to be in a Tournament of Power setting. We're talking about the Universe 6 Saiyans leveling up, Toppo leveling up, Jiren leveling up, Hit leveling up. Cool. By virtue, the other characters on the Universe 6 team would be fodder. Universe 7 would therefore have some fodder as well, unless you're going to train them all up to be this over-the-top dominant universe again, which I think is a flaw of the Tournament of Power. Universe 7 is just easily rolling through everybody. You would have an issue of trying to make us fall in love with so many universes while also not having fodder. Fodder's going to be in the arc. Granted, they don't need to have those episodes dedicated to said fodder just because it's a Universe 7 elimination. I think those were the worst ones. The Krillin elimination was probably the better one of them, but yeah, like Krillin's episode, Tien's episode, those were two of the worst episodes in Tournament of Power. Piccolo's, because it was just like, this episode is dedicated to just packing up somebody from Universe 7, and then after that, we're going to figure out the guy that packed them up. It's fucking awful. That unironically, Krillin's isn't like that, and that's why his is the best. Vegeta turning Super Saiyan wouldn't be considered good if it came out today. You telling me this grown-ass man whined and cried enough because he couldn't do what Goku could do, and also retcon the fact that you need to have a pure heart to transform, which was why Goku being the first Super Saiyan was so important. No. I actually think Super Saiyan Vegeta would be very interesting still. I actually think Super Saiyan Vegeta would be very accepted today, especially given the following sequence of events after that. But even just the idea of Vegeta turning Super Saiyan, the pure of heart thing, it's all a legend. It's all something that like we believed what it was supposed to be. Japanese. Nothing was ever truly established, but Goku was the pure-hearted guy that did it. So it was like, okay, maybe that's the case. Another Saiyan doing it, let alone an evil Saiyan doing it, did have to happen at some point, in my opinion. It definitely was like, oh shit, wait. So what the fuck? Mind you, at this point in the arc, you've already introduced another Super Saiyan, and Frieza came back. So and androids of the future. You've already had 3 different major ass mind fucking plot twists there. I don't have an issue with this one being the 4th or even the 3rd if you don't think that the androids killing Goku are coming up. So yeah, no, I don't have a problem with other people turning Super Saiyan. I don't feel like that it was a bad move or wouldn't be considered good. Especially wouldn't be considered good. It would still be an awesome moment. Cell is a perfect villain. I think Cell is a great villain. Obviously, I've done some gimmicks. A gimmick list probably has dropped and or is going to be on the way soon. But I troll Cell a lot in that video. Probably going to have the community think I hate Cell, and I don't. Cell's awesome. But do I think he's the perfect one? No, Frieza's right there. I don't understand how Cell fans will look you in the eye and tell you Cell's cooler than Frieza. I just don't see that at all. But Cell is definitely an awesome villain, though. I think Cell, if I had to make an argument for Cell being better than Frieza, it's a better foil to Gohan than maybe Frieza is to Goku. And even me saying that, I don't think I agree with that. But that'd be the best one. That'd be the best debate that you could have. Daima would have truly been peak if it had Gohan. My question is, if Goku's a tot and Goten are totter tots, is Gohan like tot plus? If Kid Gohan had popped out, I think the whole world would have just cried of joy. But I don't know what that looks like, and it's kind of sad that we never even see the design of the character, even if you're gonna make him somebody that can't box. So. Yeah, no, not having Gohan essentially be in the series at all was very, very, very disappointing, but not enough for me to say the series is bad. But yeah, no, it definitely, Gohan either having a moment or just even seeing the design would have been awesome. Broly stomps Jiren badly. Badly is insane. Let's get that out the way. I don't think y'all understand the way that Broly works. If you don't put him down, he's going to put you down. Jiren's the guy that could put him down. It's just a matter of Jiren figures that out in time, because Jiren low-key, on the lowest of keys, is like this egomaniac kind of guy. And if he thinks you're even feasibly strong, he's going to fuck around. So badly is crazy. I could see either one of them getting the dub for sure. I could see one of them getting the dub, but I think very underestimated scaling when it comes to Jiren when he snapped, because that motherfucker was, oh my God. But like, you're telling me, like, usually with the way the transformations works, once the guy transforms, it's GG's. You're telling me Goku went MUI, Jiren got angrier and just started boxing that nigga. So yeah, I wouldn't say badly. I truly could see either one winning per se. If I had to say something, I think it's more likely that Jiren wouldn't troll. But if he does, he's dead. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then for my manga niggas, yeah, if Jiren ain't done training, so Jiren probably is out there somewhere and would just kick his ass. Raditz is an underrated character. He set the tone for the franchise. He set the tone for the entire series of Z. The concept of space travel and Goku's heritage would have never happened without Raditz. I mean, water is wet. However, in terms of Raditz being an underrated character, absolutely. One thing that a lot of Dragon Ball fans don't do in regards to just appreciating characters is how bored were you when they were on the screen. Raditz has nothing about the character that's boring. It's just a matter of if you think he had that Ultra Lord peak moment. And I would say he does. It's just so early that we kind of don't care. The idea of Goku dying via double combo is fucking crazy. That's a very, very classic Dragon Ball moment. It's just, you know, not shiny hair, not beam struggles per se. So it's going to be something that doesn't make you think, oh, Raditz is an awesome character. But Raditz is fucking awesome. These are the strongest Gokus. All right, so I don't know if this is a specific one. Okay, I know that motherfucker. That's end of GT. That's Zeno. So is this CC? Or is this just some random Goku art? Look, I'm going to tell you like this. The answer for me is Capsule Corp. The answer for me is Capsule Corp. If that's who this is supposed to be, then yeah, you got it. That nigga's a criminal. Like, I said it in a short, and this is probably one of the more randomly agreeable shorts ever, to the point where this was the first time anybody that disagreed with me, a comment would go there and defend the take, and that would be the ratio. Let me tell you something now, chat. Y'all know how like Zeno, I said it a while ago, so some of you are gonna say I'm repeating myself. But I'm gonna say it again. Y'all know how like Zeno puts his hand up and just boop erases people? Yeah, not this guy. That's not how that happens. I'm sorry, pal. That's just not what goes down. That nigga would literally be like, what the fuck was that? Anyway, who did that? Then he would just instantaneously, unfathomably blitz everyone in Dragon Ball Super. Unapologetically. It's quite literally nasty. It's so objectively nasty how broken CC Goku is. I'm not sure if there's another more broken one out there. Xenoverse, but just to shout out a couple other broken ones too. Xenoverse Goku, my nigga. Dragon Ball Xenoverse Goku is fucking cracked. You do think about it. Before anybody gets to think about Xenoverse Goku, the nigga that sees people traveling through time can Kamehameha through the motherfucking, not the demon realm that we saw in goddamn Daima, but like, you know, the little crystal sphere that fucking Fullmate? That nigga has a blast down there. No, that nigga's wild. Jump Force Goku's kind of crazy. Movie Goku for my casuals. Movie Goku, probably make one more movie, would probably slam fucking canon Goku. There's a lot of wild ass Gokus out there. In fact, comment below. This will be the least toxic thing in this comment section. Comment below your favorite overpowered variant of Goku, because trust me, it gets kind of nasty with this character. Hot take: stop Dragon Ball after Black Frieza and possibly a Universe 6 expedition. I think just an end of Z movie would be fine. I'm not gonna say hard stop it. It is a potential stopping point though, but I wouldn't say hard stop it, because like you said, what do? They must go to Universe 6 to get stronger, surpass Frieza, and then that's the immediate next quest, as if there's nothing else to do. You've introduced Piccolo having Orange. You've introduced Gohan having Beast. You've introduced the fusion tot hybrids actually taking fighting seriously now. To then say, okay, but we're over after Vegeta and or Goku beat Frieza. Nah, I'm not necessarily with that. You've introduced too many things into the story of Dragon Ball to just make it 2 arcs and we're done. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, what was the point of the Bloodline Rules Saiyan match at that fucking point? What was the point of Superhero even at that point? I think the answer is straight up, Dragon Ball is going to keep going. Like, I hate to be that guy, and you have Luffy in your fucking picture, so I hope you understand it. I think there's just, as long as Toyotaro does respect to the series, RP Big Tori, Dragon Ball just keeps going. It just genuinely keeps going. Maybe when age kicks in and, you know, people can't voice Goku as well, people can't do this, that's maybe when you consider stopping it. And life happens, life is life. But yeah, no, I don't think that it has to be an immediate, yeah, after Black Frieza, after Universe 6, that's it. Black Frieza can be the last arc. Black Frieza can even potentially be the last arc if you must do something like that. But I don't think that that's something that what's it called, that you just hard focus on in the series with. Ooh, this is just a hate take, but I respect it. Piccolo should be slandered more than Vegeta. Has more losses and got bitched by the Supreme Kai in the Buu Saga. So here's the thing. Piccolo, in terms of pure win-loss and embarrassment, you're probably right. He does go out sadder than Vegeta does most of the time. Hell, Vegeta just turns out to be a more consistently stronger character in most narratives. But the thing is, Piccolo will do it in a way where he's saving a tot, trying to be smarter for someone else's fuck up. Vegeta will sit there and tell you he's the strongest, mind you, with the thumb pose. He's the strongest Saiyan there is. He's the main character. Fuck the main character. And he's going to take you out, talks all the shit in the world, and then will lose the fight. And if that's the case, and not saying that's always the case, but when that's the case, I'm definitely making fun of the guy who was loud about it and got his ass kicked more than the guy that was subtle about it, tried to save his friends and couldn't. So, hot take, I feel like we should see more future Trunks. He's a fan favorite, popular, and the story is really good, but we're most likely not going to be getting any more future Trunks. You know what's crazy? Not even trying to just be allegations. I think this is true, but now it's too late. The answer is Trunks should have never went back to the fucking future. If you're going to create such a shitty, and I do mean such a shitty ending to the arc, the only way you justify such a bad arc is by making Trunks and Mai be like, all right, well, I mean, at least I got y'all. At least this timeline, I got a family, got a friends, whatever. And he could deal with the fact that he couldn't still save his timeline. And maybe one day that's an arc where he goes back to the alternate future just because he wants to do that. But instead, you have a situation where now, as you say, bringing Trunks back is the definition of he's a fan favorite and he's popular and he had some good stories. Because why? like none of the timeline is, it's literally the dawn of a new one. Hell, Trunks could be dead eternally in a white void. We don't fucking know. It's such a weird thing to have happened. The best case scenario that you have of seeing him is one day, one of the Z fighters just randomly want to check on Future Trunks. They go there and see he's like fucking enslaved or some shit. That's the most that I could see in terms of how that character would be reborn to the series. But if they have another situation where yet again Trunks can't beat somebody, so he jumps back to the past, nah, dog. that ain't gonna hit. That is not gonna hit, especially when the goal is going to ultimately be that he has to be one of the more decisive, if not the decisive winner in the arc. Absolutely not. Just don't make him Gary Stu again. Yeah, that's the thing. You're gonna have to do that. You've written the character that way, so you're gonna have to Gary Stu him up, and it's gonna be hard to do that with the same predictable exposition. You can't have a predictable conclusion and exposition 3 times, or not 3 times because it wasn't predictable 3 times. But you can't do it again to where it is now predictable. Like I said, I don't even hate Trunks. I think Trunks should have stayed, and we fall in love with the character there. I think the dynamic of, hey, he's from the future. Boop would have been awesome in the Tournament of Power. I think that would have been fucking cool. But nah, he just, for some fucking unknown ass reason, just went back to avoid. Niggas need to stop asking if they MC can beat Goku. They need to actually get past the Ginyu Force. Actually, Raditz stomps most of these niggas' favorite MC. You know what? I'm gonna save that because I thought about doing this. Shout out to, I believe, Westside Live a couple years ago. I thought about doing a video dedicated to all the other characters that I like and then saying, can they beat Goku? And I'm gonna have a tier. And one of those tiers is gonna be, obviously, fuck no. One of those tiers is gonna be, okay, damn it, they might beat Goku. And one of those tiers is gonna be, yeah, they beat Tot Goku. You know what I mean? So I think that actually would be a fun little video. Let me know if y'all really want that. But yeah, I'm not gonna act like I did it first. I know Westside Live did that a while ago. Okay, this is the definition of hot takes, but this is what we live for. Daima was the best 20 episodes in Dragon Ball, period. Nah. I'm almost confident that if I were to just go from Super Saiyan 20 episodes back, give or arrange a couple of episodes to maybe like including the speech, maybe including Frieza blowing up Namek before the final fight. Those would probably be a crazy stretch. That when Namek got going, chat, Namek really was fucking great. I could just honestly pick the resolution of the Saiyan saga all the way to, like, I guess I would assume where Nappa spawns in. That I think the Saiyan saga is the best fluent story. So I would say that as well. The Cell saga, you may have an argument because the Cell saga kind of jumps from plot point to plot point, but it's still never confusing enough to where I would say not even necessarily during the Cell games, but I might even say some shit like, and maybe this is me reaching, but I would say an opinion could be from, I don't know where the episode starts. So let me say when Goku and Gohan exit the time chamber back, I'm assuming that 20 episode stretch, that's probably in there. So yeah, there's a lot. For me, my issue with the idea that Daima has the best 20 is Daima had 2 episodes that you genuinely not even hate. Pluck them out, do not matter. Like, holy shit. They're like there's 2 episodes you literally could plug them out of the series and they do not matter. And then it feels rushed towards the latter end. So I can't say this is the best 20 episodes. All the Giant did was fuck with. Yeah, I might say, yeah, all the, like, the Giant episode, that was just okay. So there's this Giant out there that like mops Kid Buu, most likely. You know what I'm saying? That's the most that happened. I think the Clean Man, Goten and Trunks arc in the manga was cool. It gave them a chance to shine and Trunks to have some character development. Yeah, it was cool. I honestly don't have too many problems with it. It's just I hope it doesn't turn into a nothing burger, as a lot of people want Black Frieza to be the final boss, the final ending of the series of Super, at least. And my thing is that I don't have an issue with, but that also means there's no way you just jump to Black Frieza, because you can't introduce Gohan, Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks, especially if their gimmick isn't going to just be Gotenks, but like Goten and Trunks. There's no way you do all of that for an arc and then just say, yep. Anyway, back to how Goku and Vegeta become the strongest in the verse. That is crazy. So let's be honest here. How in the world did Goku learn the Spirit Bomb and think, yeah, this will work on Jiren, when he knows it only works on those that are evil? I give him props on the other Tournament Power tactics like Key Mines, but come on, man, that was just dumb. Oh shit. Oh, shit. Did Buddy link the car through vid? Countered by Dojo? Hold on. We're here for content.
In the
Countered
Saiyan
by
saga,
Dojo?
it seems like the Spirit Bomb only works on people with Evil Ki, but I think that's a bit of a misunderstanding. Krillin specifically locks on to Vegeta's Evil Ki with the attack, which allows Gohan to bounce it back because it wasn't targeting him, or as Goku says, he doesn't have Evil Ki. Later on, we see that the Genki Dama doesn't only work on evil characters, as even the good guys have to duck out of the way of it on Namek, or Mr. Satan had to remove Vegeta from the attack's path in the Buu saga. In Dragon Ball Super, this is shown even more explicitly with Jiren, who clearly isn't evil himself, and more importantly, Goku, who has the attack sent back at himself, is severely injured once it engulfs him despite having a pure heart.
And he ends his turn. Being said, I'm not mad at Goku for using the Spirit Bomb regardless because, gee, I don't know, Blue Kaioken times 20 didn't work, my guy. And yes, the key mines and other tactics, yeah, he does get into his bag later on. But at this point in the fight, he's trying to do damage to Jiren in any way, shape, or form. And he's done none of that. So yeah, definitely at that point. The branding things to make the rest of the anime called Dragon Ball Z instead of just Dragon Ball like the original manga series was just dumb. People just skip the OG or don't even try because they want to watch Z, even though it's really amazing, it has its own unique charm. Nah. I see what you're going for, but nah. A little overthinking. Don't get me wrong. I see what he's going for. Hypothetically, if it was all still Dragon Ball, therefore, when you search Dragon Ball or whatever, you wouldn't skip this. You would go. I see what he's trying to do. My thing is, a lot of people skip original Dragon Ball by choice of the time skip, not necessarily choice of the anime label. The most you could do is go on with packaging. So the fact that Naruto versus Naruto Shippuden, One Piece in general, for example, when you rewatch those series on most sites, on most Crunchyrolls, whatever the fuck, there isn't a separate tab of Z that you can hit episode 1. No, it's all in one. Same thing with Naruto. For the most part, there's some that separate it, but it's all in one. But I guess, like, and funny enough, I brought up Naruto. Yeah, I don't think Naruto and Naruto Shippuden just ruins Naruto. No, niggas know if you started with Naruto Shippuden, natural selection. The thing is, a lot of Dragon Ball fans, come here, buddy. We don't give a fuck about dead reading shit, pal. We don't. If them niggas didn't have spiky gold hair, we ain't watching. You know what I mean? So that it's just the fan base. I'm not gonna lie, it's skill issue with the fan base more than it is skill issue with the anime. There's too many anime that have their time skips, especially rebranded time skips. Like Solo Leveling, for example, has its Solo Leveling and then Solo Leveling Arise from Shadows, I think. There's like two, you know what I mean? There's too many animes that do that for me to sit there and say that the literal Z of Dragon Ball Z ruined the series, especially given the fact that Dragon Ball fans also, and I'm sorry to yap on Evolve 1 to this one, but like, especially given the fact that Dragon Ball fans also will sit there and dunk on other Dragon Ball variants all the time. They'll dunk on GT and say it's not bad. They say it's pretty fucking bad. They'll dunk on Daima, even though it's canon. They'll dunk on Super, even though that's insanely canon. So it just has nothing to do with the label. It always is going to have something to do with the product, and that's not saying original Dragon Ball is bad. Niggas is just hype beasts and think it's boring. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. And again, don't tie me to that. Look, I have lists, I have arcs, I have my literal words right now telling you that I don't think original Dragon Ball is boring. But that's just what niggas think. That's dead ass just what niggas think. Damn Yap of Hell, not me. Oh, what happened? Chat Yap? What happened? There's Chat Yap? Oh my God! For those on YouTube that was thinking chat was talking about me when they were typing Yap, first time chat, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Sage, let me cook. I have a hot take. I agree with Goku not being a bad dad, but I find it annoying when people go, look at Vegeta. How is this guy supposed to be a better dad than Goku? He was willing to let Bulma and Trunks die in the Cell Saga as a gotcha moment. Because I don't think people are arguing bad guy Vegeta was a good dad. I think people are saying that later on he comes to be a better dad. Not saying if I agree or disagree with him being a better dad than Goku. I mean, Goku's just not a bad dad either way. So for me personally, pal, that point can be dog shit all at once. It probably is just a bad point, but Goku is just straight up not a bad dad. So it is what it is. I'm not penalizing a guy for dying and not touching somebody's shoulder to call their son every day, especially given with his whole point is being dead to separate his presence on Earth. And everyone's solution is, hey, gang, make yourself more present on Earth. That is to take. Yeah, I just don't see a world where someone could spend nothing but time for his kid when he is alive. Outside of quoting certain random stupid super quotes, outside of getting random dialogue out of context or even in context at times and just completely misrepresenting the character, Goku every time he's alive is doing something for his kid or training with his kid. So he's definitely not a bad dad. I definitely think that take is stupid. But was it as stupid as the other hot takes or my beliefs in this video? I don't know. Comment below. It's me, your boy TSO Sage. Take care and stay blessed. Bye.